Hello and welcome to all our listeners. In Parashat Noach, the Torah teaches us about the story of the Mabul. When the people sinned and Hashem decided to bring a Mabul, He told Noach to build a teva, a boat, and the teva took time to build, so people should try to maybe do tshuva. But in the end, Hashem brings the Mabul, and for around a year, there's a Mabul on the land. 40 days of rain, and then the water was there on the land for about a year. After about a year, Noach wants to check what the status is, what's happening in the land, and therefore he starts sending first the Orev and then the Yonah, the dove, to check what's happening on the land. The first time the Yonah leaves and comes back immediately because of there's water everywhere. But the second time, the dove, the Yonah, comes back, as the pasuk says, "Aleh zayit taraf befia," meaning she had an olive branch, showing that already trees are seen, and the water is not as high as it was before. The question we want to understand, first of all, is where did the dove get the olive branch from? The Mabul supposedly destroyed everything. So the Ramban in Bereishit, Perek Chet, Pasuk Yud Aleph, explains first of all, Pshat, that it doesn't have to be that the Mabul destroyed all the trees. Maybe just the Mabul covered up the trees, but once the water went down, then the trees were seen and the Yonah, the dove, was able to bring the olive branch. But the Ramban continues and brings the Midrash Rabbah in Parashat Lamed Gimel, Parashat Piska Vav, and brings Rabbi Levi Amar, where did the olive branch come from? Mehara Mishcha, from Hara Zeitim. Evia Oto. Why? Because in Eretz Yisrael there was no Mabul. In Eretz Yisrael there was no Mabul, as Hashem tells Yechezkel ben Adam, Eretz asher lo metoara lo gushma beyom zam. Eretz Yisrael was not part of the Mabul. So why? Then the question that comes up is, what's special? Why is it special? What's the meaning of the fact that there was no Mabul in Eretz Yisrael? And what does it mean there was no Mabul in Eretz Yisrael? What does exactly that mean? What does that mean? So the Ramban brings two explanations about this midrash. First of all, the Ramban says that it's not that there was no water at all in Eretz Yisrael, because there's no gates in Eretz Yisrael that will stop the water from the whole world to come into Eretz Yisrael. But, however, there was no rain in Eretz Yisrael. The whole world had rain of the Mabul, and in Eretz Yisrael, just the water that came into Eretz Yisrael, that's what there was there. But because there was no rain, the trees were not destroyed, and the Yonah was able to bring the olive branch from Har HaZeitim. The second answer that Ramban explains is that there was even a bigness, that there was no water from the Mabul at all in Eretz Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael stayed dry while the whole world was flooded. Now that we understand that there was some kind of miracle, maybe just that it didn't rain, maybe that there was no water at all, we want to understand why did Hashem do this gave Eretz Yisrael a special status. The Abarbanel in Yechezkel, Perek Kaf Bet, Pasuk Kaf Gimel, explains that the fact that Hashem made a special status for Eretz Yisrael and there was no Mabul, no flood there, is showing His respect, His honor, the honor He has to Eretz Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael is the Traklin Shel Melech, is Hashem's palace in our world. And Hashem wanted to teach us that Eretz Yisrael is special, and therefore He made a special miracle, a specialness, and made sure the Mabul was not in the same level, or maybe not at all, in Eretz Yisrael. And maybe we could learn from that when we're in Eretz Yisrael, we respect Eretz Yisrael, and we understand that we're talking about a special place that's Armono Shel Melech, the palace of Hashem. The second understanding we could learn why there was no Mabul in Eretz Yisrael is according to the Kli Yakar in Bereishit, Perek Chet, Pasuk Kaf Aleph. The Kli Yakar explains that the Mabul was not just a punishment for the sin, but it was also a way to make the land pure again. People sinned and made the land impure, and the Mabul was like, Rabbi Tzadok explains, like a mikveh, going to the mikveh and becoming pure again. And the Admor Chabad explains that that's the reason there was 40 days of rain. Because just as in a mikveh we have equivalent of 40 se'ah, ba'im se'ah makes a mikveh kosher, so there was 40 days of rain, which was the mikveh of the whole world. But that's true for the whole world. Eretz Yisrael, because it's pure, because it's holy, Eretz Yisrael did not need that kind of treatment, did not need that kind of mikveh, because Eretz Yisrael has a special holiness, a special kedusha, and even though people sinned, it stayed on the higher level that it had of Eretz Yisrael. As we see, like in Dvarim, Perek Yud Aleph, Pasuk Yud Bet, the Eretz Yisrael is a land that Hashem watches over, especially with His Inei Hashem Elokecha Ba Tamid. And Eretz Yisrael has this gula of making people smarter and more holy, as the Gemara in Baba Batra Kuf Nun Chet Amud Bet teaches us. The Eretz Yisrael, Avira shel Eretz Yisrael, the air of the land of Eretz Yisrael makes people machkim, makes people smarter and holier. To expand this idea of kedusha in Eretz Yisrael being reality, being something that we could see and meet in our lives, we'll bring a story from Rav Drukman that Rav Chaim Drukman would tell his talmidim that he would go to shiurim from Rav Tzvi Yehuda. Now Tzvi Yehuda would always go over the point that kedusha is not just something abstract, it's something in reality, in our lives. And if we understand that, we could connect to it on a higher level. And Rav Tzvi Yehuda would bring example, that halachic example, from the Gemara in Makot, Kaf Bet Amud Aleph. The Gemara there talks about the din of kil'ayin, that if someone does kil'ayin, connects two things that the Torah says not to put together, like plowing the land with a donkey and an ox, and that's kil'ayin, and whoever does that will get malkot. And then the Gemara says that someone who plows with shor psulei mukdashim, meaning an ox that was kadosh, but become pasul from being a korban, even though it's one ox, and usually kil'ayin is two different entities, or two different animals in plowing. Here we're talking about one ox that a person plows with, and he will get malkot because of kil'ayin. Tzvi said, why? Because this ox is also kadosh and also chol, also not kadosh. It's two entities in one animal, because kedusha is reality. Understanding that in life, and especially towards Eretz Yisrael, will bring us to understand the special holiness of Eretz Yisrael. So when we learn these things, that Hashem respects Eretz Yisrael, and Eretz Yisrael is tahor and kadosh, is holy and pure, and we live today in Eretz Yisrael, and we appreciate the holiness and pureness of Eretz Yisrael, we will be able soon to reach our fullest in the Geulah Shlema B'mera.